What's up, guys? My name is Adam. I'm the executive pastor here at Better Life Church, and right here, this is Aaron.
What's up, guys? My name is Aaron. I'm the campus pastor, Better Life Church, Grayson.
And we're so excited over the next few weeks to be walking through the entire book of James together. And, one of the big things this has been so fun for us is so many times we maybe will read a chapter at a time or take a look at a few scriptures here and there. But a lot of times, sometimes that can cause us to take things out of context. But to look at an entire book from beginning to end and really see some of the main central themes that we'll see James hit on time and time again, you're going to see over the next few weeks as you're walking through this. But one of the big ones that we just continue to see here is this idea that a lot of our spiritual life there are things that happen on the inside. And so we ask, like, what does a Christian look like, or what does it look like to be a follower of Jesus? And James really helps us to bring out of taking something that happened on the inside and what that actually looks like on the outside.
That's right. And we're going to be diving in today with James 1. And so before we even start, we want to set up what is actually happening and who James is writing this letter to. And he is writing it to those who have been scattered because of great persecution that has been taking place in Jerusalem. And so because of their faith, people are under great persecution. And I know that we can't really relate to that necessarily here, not on the same level. But we can definitely understand that there are things in our life that we go through. There's suffering that we go through. James actually calls those trials, some temptations, testing. And we can see James 1 is just a huge reflection that even though we may go through these trials, even though we may go through testing, that we should count it all joy. I don't know about you, Adam. That's not my first response whenever suffering happens or whenever things go wrong or not as planned in my life.
That's right. And just to add to that, depending on what translation you may use, you may see some different words from that. But troubles, testing, trials, tribulations, all of those are things that he's saying, count those things all joy. Now, temptation kind of lives in its own category. It's important to know, and James does reference this, temptation does not come from God. God does not tempt us. That comes from the enemy. But still, in all of that, while those things are going to happen in our life, we can still be joyful in the midst of it.
That's right. Absolutely. And we continue to see here in James that all of this persecution, all these things that you're going through in your life is to continue to produce your faith.
That's right.
And we see this through endurance. We see this through steadfastness, through perseverance. And this is just a great way that we can continue to become mature in our faith through the trials, through the temptations, and really coming on the other side winning. In that, we say it all the time here at church, the best is yet to come. Right. And we really get that joy from that statement. The maturity, I think this is something that we can really relate to in all of our lives. We all have somebody that we look up to or somebody that we get advice from. A lot of times that's normally not somebody that maybe like a child. We normally don't look at that, but somebody that we know who has walked through life and who has gone through some struggles and has come out on the other side. To me, that's my grandparents. I know I can go to my grandparents for great advice because they have lived it. And they are living their life for Jesus, even through all the immense struggles, temptations, and trials that they've had in their life.
And right there in that central theme that I just said about taking something that's on the inside and what does that look like on the outside? Faith is that. Like it's one thing to say you have faith, but how do we know when someone has faith? It's when they're going through those sufferings, through those trials, through those tribulations, and they are continuing to walk after and have that humility and understanding that this will produce that perseverance, that steadfastness, but at the end of the day will increase my faith as a result.
That's right. You can't fake it. At the end of the day, you can't fake it, especially going through hard times. Our faith will become evident in how we live and how we act. And James finishes his chapter 1 by saying that in all that we do, it should be done in love. And we should be going towards becoming pure, to becoming a reflection of who Jesus is and the life that he has called us to live. But guys, we're really excited about you going through James 1. I want to encourage you to just take the next few moments to read through chapter 1 with your group, and then to dive into the discussion questions and just allow your heart to just be opened up to what God's word says in James 1.
That's right. And a couple other things there just to say, particularly in James 1:22, my favorite part of this entire chapter, don't miss this. It's really just another way of saying what we've already said. But he says, you can't just be a hearer of the word, but you got to be a doer of it. And so this idea that it's one thing to learn, it's another thing to do.
That's right.
And Pastor Daniel, he says this all the time. He says, information alone will not bring transformation in our life. It's the information plus the application. You know, you're going through this group right now. Maybe you come to church every Sunday, or maybe you watch online, or you listen to podcasts, all these things. Information, we live in a time when information is just overloaded in our lives, but it does not transform our life until we begin to apply it. And so over the next few weeks, I just encourage you, take this book. You can take it with church with you on Sunday. You can take notes, dive into that daily reading of God's word. Don't just wait till this group time or wait till Sunday. Dive into God's word on your own. The Holy Spirit, through God's word, as you begin to apply it and learn it, will transform your life.